Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley, and I'm going to be going over my project for this semester. So, to start off with, my project is a miniature project of what it originally was, which I still kept the title of to run or not to run. And basically, it is just a simple website that will let the user know whether or not they can run a specific game on their PC, which again stands for just personal computer. Um, if you look on the left-hand side, you can see my Jira page. Um, Challenges I faced with it was just trying to figure out um, how to put everything on from scratch with the reports, understanding what the burn-up report is. This is what it stands for. Putting the story points on, of course, that was a little difficult. Just like navigating it because I've never heard of this software before. So that was just a bit difficult. And then, of course, these are old backlogs. I needed to close that out. Looking at the charts originally on the left-hand side, let me see if we can zoom that in a bit more. We'll just, I guess not. I don't want to mess it up, but if you can see like how my original group last semester, we originally have our entity relationship diagram here. We just thought the users would interact with the website, and then the website is the only thing interacting with the database. The user will at no point have access to interact really with the database. Originally, but of course, we do have there's a login screen, so the users will interact with a database, just not the database we were thinking of. And then we have our domain model diagram, of course, where we just thought, again, the user would just interact with the website, and then the website would just directly interact with the database. We originally, my group thought we should not have to where the user has the ability to really interact with the database and mess with the games and the information needed for that. And then, of course, we still have our use case diagram here, which we just had a few, like, of course, the user should be able to view the home page, and the user will just type in the URL and be able to view that and whatnot. And the game list page is another use case for the user where they can search it on the home page for the games that we do have. And then the view user input information page also is what we had. And then this is just more like more of that use case diagram. And then we created an activity diagram, of course, which this is an old one from last semester. It did change a bit. And then we had our system sequence diagram as well. I did everything myself, which was challenging because I do not know PHP still, difficulties with that. And then I challenged myself in creating everything through Bluehost and using a website platform. So I tried to do all code from scratch directly through the website instead of um, importing my code from an outside source. Like I usually code with Notepad, and I originally started doing that, but then it was not saving properly, and it ended up deleting my web page and all of my data, so I had to start over from scratch again. But this is just the file manager from Bluehost. If any of you guys ever use it, I do recommend it. It's only like $2 a month if you're really trying to just get like a low budget website out for the world to be able to see. Oof, do not mean to highlight that. These are specific files that I imported, and I'll show my code after that. And then I do have a database that I created with Bluehost specifically. I did not use MySQL and outsource the code and import a separate database as I'm used to. I tried to do it through their website to see about learning something different. And that was in itself a bit challenging. It took me a long time to figure out how to just add in information into the into the column. So I was able to create, if you look on the left hand side here in the gaming tab, I was able to create the columns for the tables that are named right here. And then we have the name. I put that, of course, as the primary key because it is the most distinctive feature that will or the most distinctive attribute, if you will, of the table that will is the most unique feature, my bad, to identify each attribute. But it took a while to figure out how to insert it in here without just going directly into coding with MySQL over here. And then delving more into the code, and then we'll look at the website really quick. It is up and running. There, of course, were some issues and not everything. I could not get everything to work in time as I wanted to. If you look on the left-hand side here, we have the login page. So the coding for all of that is right here. I did a lot of course, CSS style sheets with that. And then if you look on the right-hand side, if I click here on the login, this is what the login screen looks like. And I'll zoom everything in at the very end. It's just like to compare coding and coding styles. If anyone is interested, because I love programming HTML, of course, I'm not perfect and I'm still learning. But that is just the login screen here on the left-hand side. Delving more into this code, this is the home page, if you will. So originally, because the site's purpose is just to tell a user whether or not they can run a specific game on their PC or not, I did not feel there was a need for a login screen. It just seemed like it was a bit much, so I didn't have time to figure out putting in that database. And I do not know how to code PHP still. It's very challenging for me to still learn, and I, of course, am still working on doing that. But this is just the code for that. And then again, the product of that is on the right-hand side. Going into the next coding screen, I coded this. I just thought it was because I myself, even though I am in computer science, I do not think I'm very tech savvy still and know much about the hardware or software components of a regular commercial PC. So I thought I should add a tab up here for helping a user figure out where to find that, like a step-by-step menu on where to find it on their PC, possibly if they search it in their search bar. Each PC has their system information as to what CPU processor they have, and of course, like how much RAM that PC has, and how much storage each PC has, of course, as well. And then I think the next one is just this is Bluehost again, what I've used, file manager, where I imported files. Originally, I imported from the outside source, of course, but then I had to restart from scratch. As I said, my hair keeps coming up, my bad. As I said, I had to basically start from scratch. It somehow deleted all of my code on here. I have no idea because I've never used an outside website hosting thing before, so that was challenging. And then here under databases, I went directly to their PHP my admin to create the database. It will redirect if you click on it, and you can search your databases here and stuff of that nature. Delving into the website itself, if you look at, let me move my head over here, but if you look at the website, if you click up here or if you click here, it goes to the home screen, which the home screen is just where the user can input their information. Again, the challenges that I could not do was to really go in and try to use PHP coding to do if-then statements on to make it function. But this is just the drop-down list of what the users can click to see like if they have the requirements to be able to run the games that are in this drop down selection. I picked the top 5 games that were on the internet. I looked up the top 5 games that people usually love playing on PC. I do not play games much on PC. Sorry for anyone who does. And then we have again a drop down for the CPU processor, the RAM, and then the storage. And then if you go again to this next tab, you have where it's step by step on where you can go to find the information if you don't already know the specifications that your PC has. And then, my bad, on the top right is like the login screen. Again, I could not figure out the PHP coding to really make the database to connect everything. I have like no experience with PHP. But yeah, that's basically it. Again, if you click on the top left for the navigation bar, it goes back to the home screen. What went really well for me in the project is just figuring out, like, I like details are a big thing for me, so it was nice to be able to manipulate the code to make really cool background images, because usually I'm a pretty simple person, so I wanted to challenge myself to make each page have a little bit of its own uniqueness to it. The challenges that I faced, of course, were time management. I had a lot of outside events unfortunately happen, which made it very difficult for me to focus all of my attention on this project like I really wanted to, because this was very fun for me. Even though it was challenging, it was really fun to do. But yes, that's basically it on that. Thank you. Okay, wait, was that good? Was that making sense on this project, y'all?
I don't really know anything about that.
But like,
Good.
was it making sense?
Sounded good.
Were you listening to me?
I was. It made sense.
And let me say, it sounded very.
Did it sound professional?
It did.
Yeah.
Okay, but because we're just going to.
I'll say it like this: you sounded like you knew what you were talking about.